Behind the worldwide fame of the Jackson dynasty stands one extraordinary woman, Katherine Jackson. The quiet force behind Michael, Janet, and the entire Jackson family, she has witnessed unimaginable success, endured heartbreaking tragedy, and lived through decades of intense public scrutiny. But who is the woman beyond the title of Mother of Icons? From her California estates to her enduring legacy, we take you inside the private world of Katherine Jackson. Though she rarely sought the spotlight for herself, Katherine's steady influence shaped the careers of her children, including global superstars like Michael and Janet Jackson. Today, her net worth is estimated at over $100 million, much of it connected to her late son, Michael's vast estate. After Michael's passing in 2009, Katherine was named a primary beneficiary in his will, receiving 40% of his fortune, an estate valued in the hundreds of millions. This includes royalties from record sales, licensing agreements, and merchandise. Reports suggest she has already received more than $55 million from the estate, along with a monthly stipend ranging from $67,000 to $160,000 to cover living expenses and caretaking costs. But Katherine's story is not just about inheritance. Long before estate payouts, she played a vital role in the Jackson family's rise to fame. As the emotional backbone of the Jackson Five, she provided guidance, stability, and unwavering support. While never an official manager, her presence was pivotal, laying the foundation for one of the most successful entertainment families in history. Beyond family matters, Katherine pursued a few personal projects of her own. In 1990, she published her autobiography, My Family, the Jacksons, which gave readers an intimate look into her children's lives and her own journey as their mother. While not a bestseller, the book added to her legacy and offered her perspective to the public. She has also appeared in select family television specials and interviews, contributing modestly to her income and visibility. Katherine's legacy, however, goes far beyond money. Her story is one of resilience, faith, and a mother's unwavering devotion, a legacy that continues to shape the Jackson name financially and emotionally to this day. Born Kattie B. Screws on May 4, 1930 in Barber County, Alabama, her early years were marked by both hardship and determination. At age 2, she contracted polio, leaving her with a permanent limp. Despite the setback, she developed a passion for music and dreamed of becoming a country singer, though racial barriers of the era made that dream nearly impossible. Eventually, she set aside her personal ambitions to raise a family, a decision that would indirectly shape music history. In the 1950s and 1960s, Katherine raised 10 children, 9 of whom survived into adulthood in Gary, Indiana. A homemaker and classically trained pianist and clarinetist, she passed her love of music down to her children. She first noticed Michael's talent when he kept rhythm with the washing machine, and she encouraged Tito to learn guitar, sparking the formation of what became the Jackson Five. At home, Katherine served as stylist and costume designer, sewing the boys' stage outfits by hand so they looked polished even in small talent shows. She worked part-time at Sears to help support the family, balancing financial responsibilities with her behind-the-scenes role in their musical journey. By 1964, Jackie, Jermaine, Marlon, Michael, and Tito had officially formed the Jackson Five. Katherine stood by them through their early performances, celebrating their landmark victory at the Apollo Theater's Amateur Night in 1967, a turning point that launched their path to stardom. When the Jackson Five signed with Motown Records in 1968, Joseph Jackson managed the business side, but Katherine remained their creative and emotional anchor. She continued designing costumes, providing encouragement, and offering the moral guidance her children needed as their fame exploded. With hits like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There, the group quickly became an international sensation. And it was during this time that Michael's extraordinary talent began to shine, leading to the launch of his solo career in 1971 with Got to Be There. Katherine Jackson watched as her son Michael transformed into one of the greatest entertainers the world has ever seen. At the same time, she continued to support the group, which rebranded as the Jacksons after leaving Motown in 1975. Her presence became more visible during the 1984 Victory Tour when the brothers reunited to perform across the country. By then, her role had evolved into that of a trusted advisor and team member. Yet her influence always remained rooted in quiet strength rather than overt control. Michael's unprecedented solo success soon began to overshadow the group, and as his star reached unimaginable heights, the cohesion of the Jacksons started to weaken. Their last major chart presence came in 1984 with State of Shock, a duet between Michael and Mick Jagger. Aside from background vocals from Marlon and Jackie, the rest of the group played little part in the recording. Through every challenge and triumph, Katherine's loyalty never wavered. She had helped shape an empire, not through loud declarations or flashy decisions, but through patience, intuition, and unwavering maternal devotion. Her role in the Jackson story remains one of the most underappreciated chapters in American music history. Next, we turn to the home she resides in today, her mansion in Calabasas, California. This isn't just another luxurious property. It's a symbol of gratitude, a sanctuary built from the legacy she helped create. Purchased off-market for $10.75 million by Michael Jackson's estate, the home was custom-built by Kasabian Design Build, a firm known for crafting grand, Tuscan-style residences. Nestled within a gated celebrity enclave, home to stars like the Kardashians, Justin Bieber, and Drake, Katherine's estate reflects both privacy and prestige. Spanning nearly 11,000 square feet, the property is as impressive in scale as it is in design. A gated stone driveway leads to a beautifully landscaped courtyard, setting a serene tone before entering the residence. Inside, the home boasts 5 spacious bedrooms, each with its own ensuite bathroom, ensuring comfort and privacy for family and guests. The layout is thoughtfully arranged with multiple fireplaces, a series of elegant balconies, and a private office with its own entrance, perfect for quiet reflection or personal business. The formal kitchen is a centerpiece designed for a chef. It includes a prep room, high-end appliances, a generous pantry, and connects to refined dining areas, complete with a stylish wine room. Other features include multiple powder rooms, a well-appointed laundry area, and expansive living spaces blending comfort with sophistication. Every room is designed to maximize both function and beauty, echoing the elegance associated with the Jackson legacy. Beyond the walls of the home lie nearly 2 acres of lush outdoor living. The grounds feature manicured gardens, 3 outdoor fireplaces, and multiple patios ideal for gatherings or peaceful solitude. A sparkling pool and spa invite relaxation beneath the California sun, while a 900-square-foot covered outdoor kitchen and dining area provide year-round enjoyment. The motor court and 3-car garage offer ample space for residents and guests alike. Altogether, the Calabasas estate provides Katherine with a sanctuary, private yet reflective of a life forever lived in the public eye. It is more than a home. It is a tribute to her role in shaping the Jackson dynasty, a legacy built on love, sacrifice, and resilience. Before settling in Calabasas, Katherine and her husband Joe lived in a Mediterranean-style home in the hills of West Hollywood. That 4-bedroom residence was rich in history and charm, a quiet retreat during the early days of the family's rise to fame. Perched on elevated ground, the house offered sweeping views of the Los Angeles skyline, especially breathtaking at sunset, when the sky turned brilliant shades of orange and lavender. A wide front porch welcomed visitors, just large enough for a row of rocking chairs, perfect for quiet evenings away from the spotlight. Inside, the home carried a warm, old-world atmosphere. The living room featured expansive glass windows, a central fireplace, and polished hardwood floors. The formal dining room sat at the heart of the home, cozy yet elegant, while the adjacent kitchen blended modern updates with vintage charm. Clay tile floors and quartz countertops created a rustic but refined feel, maintaining the character of the home while adapting to the needs of its famous residents. The small breakfast nook, decorated with a nostalgic milk carton detail from the 1930s, adds a touch of character that makes the West Hollywood home feel truly lived in. From the central hallway, 3 generously sized bedrooms open up, along with a bathroom that feels like a trip back in time. With its purple and black tile work, recessed sink, and classic finishes, the space preserves the home's original charm. The master suite, however, reflects thoughtful updates. A private ensuite bathroom offers modern convenience, while French doors open directly to the backyard, inviting in the morning breeze. At the rear of the property, a flat open area once hosted countless family gatherings and intimate celebrations. Beyond that, the terraced yard makes full use of the hillside, offering panoramic views of Los Angeles at every level. Whether for gardening, barbecues, or quiet moments with a book, the outdoor spaces felt both private and expansive. The home also offered plenty of practicality. A spacious ground-floor garage provided ample storage and parking, while additional built-in storage beneath the foundation made life easier for a growing family like the Jacksons during their early years in California. But this West Hollywood residence was far more than a house. It was a witness to the Jackson family's transformation, from humble beginnings to global superstardom. Its walls once echoed with laughter, rehearsals, and family dinners. Though the family eventually moved on to more modern and luxurious estates, this home remains a symbol of the roots they never abandoned. Still, Katherine Jackson's life was never defined by real estate or material comfort. At the heart of it all, she was first and foremost a mother, one who carried the weight of raising a legendary family. In 1949, she married Joseph Joe Jackson. Together, they moved to East Chicago, Indiana, and began building a family that would grow to include 10 children. Among them were future superstars Michael, Janet, Jermaine, and the brothers who would form the Jackson Five. Tragically, one son, Brandon, Marlon's twin, died shortly after birth. While Joe was known for his strict, often controversial methods of raising and managing the children, Katherine became their emotional anchor. She nurtured their musical interests, designed stage costumes, and ensured the home remained stable even during the chaos of rising fame. Her role was more than supportive, it was foundational in shaping her children's early success. But behind the scenes, her marriage was far from smooth. Joe's infidelity created tension that lingered for decades. Katherine filed for divorce twice, once in 1973 and again in 1982, but ultimately chose to remain in the marriage until Joe's passing in 2018. Known for her quiet strength, Katherine was unafraid to stand her ground. In one now famous incident, she reportedly confronted a woman she suspected of having an affair with Joe. The emotional strain of their marriage was even dramatized in the 1992 miniseries The Jacksons, An American Dream, where her character was portrayed directly challenging Joe over his behavior. Her role as mother was tested again in the 1980s and 1990s, when a painful rift developed with her daughter LaToya, who at the time was under the control of her abusive husband, Jack Gordon. In her memoir, LaToya accused Katherine of emotional abuse, allegations Katherine firmly denied, attributing them to Gordon's manipulation. Thankfully, mother and daughter reconciled in 1997 after LaToya escaped the marriage. Even through such personal struggles, Katherine's resilience never went unnoticed. In 1985, Essence magazine honored her as Mother of the Year, a title that perfectly captured her role in both her family and American culture. But nothing could prepare her for the greatest heartbreak of all, the loss of her son, Michael. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away from cardiac arrest caused by a propofol overdose. The news shocked the world, but for Katherine, it was far more than a global tragedy. It was the devastating loss of her child. He left behind 3 young children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, now known as Biggie. Almost immediately, Katherine stepped into the role of guardian. Named in Michael's will, she assumed responsibility for raising them. She also reached a private agreement with Debbie Rowe, Michael's ex-wife and the biological mother of Prince and Paris, granting Katherine full custody while Rowe retained visitation rights and continued to receive financial support. On August 3, 2009, a Los Angeles judge made it official. Katherine Jackson was granted permanent legal guardianship of all 3 children. At nearly 80 years old, Katherine Jackson stepped into a new role, raising her grandchildren during the most difficult time of their lives. She gave Prince, Paris, and Biggie the same love, structure, and stability that had carried her own children through their rise to fame. But in July 2012, that stability was shaken. Reports emerged that Katherine had gone missing, allegedly taken to Arizona by some of her adult children amid a brewing dispute over Michael's estate. For nearly 2 weeks, she had no direct contact with her grandchildren. The court temporarily suspended her guardianship, granting custody instead to Michael's nephew, TJ Jackson, son of Tito. It was a confusing and painful time for the children, intensified by media speculation. Thankfully, the matter was resolved quickly. Katherine returned, and the court reinstated her as co-guardian alongside TJ, a balanced arrangement pairing her wisdom with his active, hands-on parenting. By 2017, however, Katherine made the difficult decision to step back. At 87 years old, she formally resigned as Biggie's co-guardian. With Prince and Paris already adults, she trusted TJ to take full responsibility for raising the youngest Jackson, who was still just 15. It was a graceful handoff, one that reflected her lifelong devotion to family, even as age made her role more challenging. But even in her later years, Katherine's story continued to unfold. In March 2024, a new dispute shook the Jackson family. Michael's youngest son, Biggie, formerly known as Blanket, took the surprising step of filing a legal objection against his own grandmother, T. The conflict centered on Katherine's decision to use estate funds to finance an appeal against the estate's executors. At the heart of the dispute was a proposed $600 million sale of Michael Jackson's music catalog and intellectual property to Sony. Initially, Katherine and all 3 of Michael's children opposed the deal, fearing it might diminish Michael's legacy. But after the court ruled in favor of the estate's executors, the children accepted the outcome and chose not to pursue it further. Katherine, however, refused to back down. Determined to keep fighting, she pressed on with an appeal. Biggie, however, objected, arguing that continuing the case risked draining funds from the estate, funds meant to secure the future of Michael's heirs. His lawyers raised concerns about legal costs, calling for limits on how much of the estate could be used to cover her ongoing battle. The rift exposed the weight of carrying a legacy as vast as Michael Jackson's. The estate remains one of the most valuable in entertainment history, and managing it in a way that honors his memory while protecting his children's future has never been simple. For Katherine, the fight was about principle. For Biggie, it was about preservation. And so, even in her later years, Katherine Jackson found herself at the center of another chapter of family drama. Not as the mother guiding her sons to stardom, but as a grandmother defending what she believed was right. She wasn't a performer. She never took the stage. Yet behind every song, every tour, and every child who carried the Jackson name into history, there was Katherine, the quiet force, the steady hand, the mother who built a dynasty through sacrifice, devotion, and resilience. And that is her true legacy. Thank you for joining us in honoring the extraordinary life of Katherine Jackson, the woman who shaped the sound of generations without ever needing the spotlight for herself. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video.